Zacks Screen of the Week, an overview of a timely stock screening strategy aimed at helping you produce more profitable investing results. This week we're screening for weekly price and volume with Kevin Matras, our top stock screener and head of our Research Wizard division here at Zacks.com. Now, I know you've talked about volume in the past. This time you're talking about weekly volume instead of daily volume or monthly volume. So why is that important?
It's very important because volume typically will show where the demand is. The reason why I wanted to kind of bring this out again this week is because if you were to look at the market over the last couple of weeks, the market had hit a rough patch, not only for the major indexes, but also for stocks in general. The market appears like it is on verge of redeeming itself over the last couple of days, and that's very good to see. But when I was looking at the pullback in prices over the last couple of weeks, it was done on a noticeable increase in volume. And that was something that I think people should really pay attention to. And like I said, price will typically follow volume. So if volume is rising as prices are going down, you need to be put on alert because this suggests that maybe buying pressure is drying up. Moreover, if let's just say that you see that the subsequent up days are being made on lower volume, lower than the volume that you had seen on the down days, that also suggests that the market may be, or at least your stocks, may be needing to take a breather and new lower ground could be sought after. So that's why I wanted to talk about price and volume this week. You need to focus in on stocks, especially at this critical juncture. You need to focus in on stocks where there is evidence that you see good buying demand and good buying pressure.
So then essentially volume indicates demand?
Absolutely. Again, the whole idea is that price should follow volume, and the increase in volume does indeed show demand. So if you are looking at rising prices on rising volume, that shows new buyers are coming in, they have new confidence, and they are adding new positions. If you are looking at the market, let's say, going up on waning volume, you see waning demand, you may be seeing people getting out, or you may even be seeing people potentially getting ready to put on some shorts. The way to, I think, crystallize it is, imagine if you have a hose with a ball. You need to see increased water pressure in order for that ball to move higher. And the same is true to an extent for the market. You need to see increased buying demand in order for that stock to go up. But the same is true if, let's just say that you see that water pressure, lessen or wane, the ball will come down, and the same is true for stocks. As buying pressure starts to dissipate and wane, you will likely see the stocks start to pull back as well. So you really need to pay attention on those two points.
All right, give us those parameters.
All right, first off, in this week's screen, we are looking for a bunch of stuff. Let me set this thing up and then we'll get into the price and volume.
Right.
First, we are looking for companies that are trading over $5 a share.
Okay.
Then we want to make sure that the companies do have a decent amount of volume to begin with, right? And we want to make sure that the average 20-day volume is over 100,000 shares on a daily basis. We are also looking at the Zacks rank, less than or equals to 3. So again, strong buys, and at the very least holds, no sells, no strong sells. And for good measure, we want to make sure that the projected growth rate is going to be positive as well. So it has to be greater than 0. Then we get into the price and the volume. So we want the recent week's price to be greater than the price from a week ago. And we want the price from a week ago to be greater than the price from 2 weeks ago. Then for the volume, same thing. We want the weekly volume to be greater than the weekly volume from 1 week ago, and we want the weekly volume from 1 week ago to be greater than the weekly volume from 2 weeks ago. And this is going to help us find increasing demand over time.
All right. So how many stocks actually came through?
When I ran the screen this morning, I think there was about 31 stocks that came through. And this is kind of interesting because the last time we talked about this concept, I think it was back in maybe March or April, and I think there was as many as like 68 companies that came through.
That's interesting.
So yeah, it's interesting in the fact that half as many companies came through, and that should put people on alert. But nonetheless, here are the companies that we're going to look at today. We had a bunch of different companies from a whole different set of sectors and industries. We've got Axis Capital, AZZ Incorporated, Checkpoint Software, Enos, and Net Services.
And you expect me to go down a certain road relating to that one, and I'm not even going to touch that. But I will ask, do you own any of these?
I don't have any of those on the board.
All right. So if you want to see the other stocks that came through the screen that Kevin didn't mention, check out his text version of the Screen of the Week on Zacks.com. Maybe he's mentioned them there.
Okay.
All you have to do is go to Zacks.com's homepage, scroll down that homepage till you get to Kevin's picture, and that headline right next to it is what you click on. That's the link that takes you to the text version of this week's Screen of the Week. And if you want to find out more about the Research Wizard, of course, you go to Zacks.com/Research Wizard. With Kevin Matras and the Screen of the Week, I'm Terry Ruffalo.